Hey everyone, welcome to the start of a new project. We're going to be playing Warlords Battlecry II. This is an old real-time strategy game, but which has some very interesting hero building and role-playing elements. We're going to be doing the campaign specifically. But this first video is going to be not so much about the game, but more about how and why I am running the game in the way I am. And in order to show you that, I'm gonna have to exit the game. I'm gonna quit to Windows. And having quit to Windows, you'll notice something strange. Because this doesn't look like Windows 10. For all I know, Windows 11 might be out by the time you're watching. And maybe they'll go super retro, but I can't imagine it would look anything even remotely like this, no matter how far back they go. And if we click on the Start menu, we see some interesting things. We see MSN, we see Windows Media Player, Internet Explorer. What a delight that is. We see some signs that things are perhaps a little bit amiss. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that the reason, and some of you have probably already guessed this, the reason it looks like this is because I am running this game on a Windows XP virtual machine. And just do one thing here. Bring this up. The only thing I've brought onto the machine, I named it, I named the profile Scoob because I guess I was thinking of Scooby-Doo at the time. Listen, I don't have to justify myself, let's just move on. So the only thing I've brought on is, God, this always takes so long, is the patch. The last official patch to this game, so that I could bring it from version 1.0 to version 1.03. And by the way, I installed it using this CD image. Now, the first question you might ask is why I've chosen to do this, because the more astute of you may be aware that this game, might as well launch it. The more astute of you may be aware that this game is available on GOG. And games on GOG you can play on Windows without having to go through this entire rigmarole. So, you might be wondering why I have chosen, instead of playing it on GOG like a normal person, that I'm running a Windows XP virtual machine and playing this game there. Like, you might be, and I wouldn't blame you for this, but you might think that it's strange behavior. You might even think, maybe it's some weird midlife crisis that I'm going through, that it's not enough to play a really old game. I also have to play it on a replica of an old operating system. That this is all just a sad attempt to recapture my squandered youth. And well, I mean, like, you didn't have to be so mean about it, but it does feel kind of good. It's nostalgic. I miss Windows XP. But there is actually another reason I'm doing this. I mean, like, the real reason, obviously, is something entirely different. To show you what that reason is, I'm gonna have to go in here. This is my test character, which I'm gonna immediately delete. And now we have no more characters. We're prompted to make another one. Let me go ahead, and it doesn't matter what we select because I'm not going to be selecting a character on this video. That'll be in the next video. So let's just go human, why not? And I'm not even going to bother giving a name. Instead, I'm going to draw your attention to this part of the screen, which talks about the game modes. Now, there are 4 modes. Normal mode, which has nothing special about it. You gain normal XP, and even if you lose, you gain something. Then there's Tin Man mode, where you get extra XP, but if you die in a battle, you don't get anything. I think if you lose but survive, you still get some. And that logic, I think, still applies to Bronze Man, only the ratios are even steeper, where you get 50% extra if you survive a battle, but if you're killed, you are reverted to the start of your current level, so big penalties. And the last difficulty here is Ironman. And from how severe the penalties we're getting, you've probably already guessed what this means. You gain double XP, which is a big bonus, but there's permadeath. If you die, your hero's gone. It's over. Now, what does this have to do with all that malarkey about virtual machines and me not running the GOG version? Well, I want to play this game on Ironman mode. The problem is I can't do it on the GOG version. And I'm going to go into why that is. And if this sounds really technical and convoluted, it's because it is. But that's just how the way the original game was made. So the original game was built with an anti-cheat feature. Whenever you made an Iron Man hero, the game would not only keep its own save files, but it would write something into the Windows registry. The logic being that you couldn't just cheat by copying your hero save files. I mean, already it doesn't sound great because, well, first of all, why put an anti-cheat mechanism in what is predominantly a single-player game? Second of all, even with this mechanism, a determined cheater could still go in and, you know what, let's not get too into it. Suffice it to say that somebody somewhere at some point in time decided that this was a good thing to put into a video game, and that's how the game worked for a long time, until operating systems started to change. Now, I don't know exactly when this specific change happened, but Windows for a long time will no longer let most regular programs do this. That is to say, write things into the Windows registry. And so what that means is if I play this game on the GOG version, which runs beautifully, which I own, and I've played, and I thought about doing it on the GOG version, but I just couldn't bear playing on anything other than Iron Man. But if you try to play Iron Man on the GOG version, it will let you make your hero, it will even let you go into battles, and you'll maybe even win a battle, maybe you'll go into another battle straight away, you'll feel like you're making progress. But the moment you exit your game, whether it is exiting to desktop or even going back to the main menu, your hero will be like, he won't be there. His files might still be there, but because the game couldn't do its transactions, so to speak, with the Windows registry that it wanted to, it'll trip the anti-cheat thing, and that'll tell the game that this is a cheated hero, like it's a hero's not supposed to be here, like he's dead, but someone's trying to bring him back, and you won't be able to play with that hero. It'll be like he never existed. Or she. I'm pretty sure at least some of them are female. But anyway, so that's something you can't do normally with the GOG version. I did look for workarounds to this that could apply to the GOG version, and I found one potential one, but there were two problems. Number one, I couldn't get it to run, which is actually a kind of a pretty big problem. And I'm not still sure why I couldn't get it to run. I think maybe it has to do with the fact that the GOG version by default takes you to version 104, which is an unofficial patch that, among other things, I think fixes some resolution issues. But the one that I was trying to apply was meant to be a modification to 1.03, so maybe it only works if you have 1.03 currently active. So that was one reason. The other reason was, from what I gathered, it was part of a mod to the game that changed a few other things, and they didn't seem like major things. Like, I don't think there were like balance changes or anything. It was more along the lines of like interface level stuff. But still, I want to keep the game as vanilla as I possibly can, and so even if I could run that specific thing that I found as a workaround to this, might have decided not to use that, at least not for this this project. And the other thing, of course, is that I'm not competent enough to modify this game myself, because if I was, I would go in and do something, but you know what, I don't even want to open up that can of worms. So the only option left to me was to do it this way, to run it in a virtual machine where the game thinks it's writing to Windows registry, but of course it's not real Windows, it's fake Windows. Essentially, a virtual machine is, you can think of it as like a fever dream that your computer is having, where like a parallel universe, like it's there, but it's not really there. So this is gonna allow me to at least play and save to whatever storage I have allocated for this virtual machine in my larger hard drive. So that's why I had to do it this way. Now, I mean, I know what you're thinking. That's a lot of trouble that you've gone through for this game mode. Does it really matter that much to you to play in this game mode? And to that, I have to say, yeah, it really does matter to me that much. I really want to be Iron Man. So, have I lost my mind? Can I see, or am I blind? The answers to these and other questions can be found in the upcoming videos, where I will at least attempt to start the series and hopefully not run into problems based on the rather convoluted Rube Goldberg mechanism that I'm operating to run it. So I hope to see you in the next episode, which is when I will actually create my hero and maybe even do a quick battle in the campaign. So until then, take care.